Clarksville.
Contest is set for 1 fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring from Essex, England, weighing 225 pounds, the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay!
It is indeed molten here in Clarksville, and with good reason. Kicking the action off tonight with a grudge match spilling out of the Continental Classic.
Certainly are. Will Ospreay defeating Brody King Christmas night. Beautiful win to secure his spot in the semifinal of the Continental Classic. But I gotta wonder, coming into this match, Daddy Magic, you see Will Ospreay able to pick up the victory against Kyle Fletcher. Is this a little bit too much too soon? Is he running the candle, burning it a little too thin?
What are we, 10 days out? 10 days out past when he wrestled 2 matches back to back. Over 20 minutes straight. We'll see how he does right here.
It was a tremendously gutsy performance by Will Ospreay, but in Riccaboni, I think you're burying the lead a little. It was Ospreay that went on to the semifinals after that Christmas night Dynamite victory, but in doing so, he bounced Brody King out of the group stage of the 2024 Continental Classic, which is why the intensity in this match is so elevated to borrow a phrase.
Certainly is. And when you have friends like Brody King does, when you have this friend, they don't let that deed go unpunished. It just got dark in here, fellas.
Members of the House of Black, please.
And his opponent, honoring the House of Black, weighing 227 pounds, Buddy Matthews!
And to your point, Excalibur, I got to spend time over the holiday with my family, enjoy my loved ones. This man had to sit and stew over the Continental Classic, but it was back at Full Gear, Excalibur, where we saw him last.
That's right. Buddy Matthews, a tremendous singles competitor, primarily known throughout his AEW tenure as a tag team or trios wrestler, Daddy Magic, but he can get it done when it is just him standing on his own in the ring.
There's no question about that. We've seen it time and time again. He's going to have a hell of a test right here tonight. It's one of the best in Will Ospreay.
And Ian, you, I, and Matt, we may consider Brody King and Buddy Matthews as friends, but I think to hear them tell it, more like brothers. And so this is more of a case of one brother looking for revenge for the other.
And the last time we saw Buddy Matthews, he was victorious back at Full Gear. So not only do I think Buddy has an opportunity to avenge Brody, but here tonight, Daddy Magic, he has an opportunity to maybe pick apart Will Ospreay at maybe his physically weakest that he's been in a wild, that grueling schedule coming out into World's End.
No question about that. Will Ospreay, I gotta wonder if that cut on his forehead's all healed up from 10 nights ago. Is that something Buddy Matthews is gonna want to pick apart? But I got a question for you. Will Ospreay defeated Brody King fair and square.
Absolutely.
What's this guy so upset about?
Well, I think Buddy Matthews is upset that the hopes of Brody King for winning the Continental Classic ended on Christmas night. He didn't even get a chance to make it to the semifinals to face either Kyle Fletcher or Kazuchika Okada to determine it. But right now, action getting off. A first-time ever matchup kicking off the action tonight on Dynamite as Buddy Matthews sent into the rope. Shoulder tackle takes Ospreay off of his feet.
And over the years, Will Ospreay's put on so much size, filling out that frame. As a young man, had so much potential. He's cashed all of it in and more, but Buddy Matthews just a little bit stronger here.
Ooh! Yeah, Buddy Matthews barely giving ground, and then accelerates, drops the shoulder, and takes Ospreay off of his feet.
Tell you what, Clarksville is alive right now. They are ready for this one, and I imagine the place will come unglued later here tonight with Kenny Omega returning.
Whoa! Cutter attempt. Buddy Matthews able to intercept, block.
Got him here.
Yeah, looking for that pump handle, but now backslide attempt. One. Nope. Sweep of the leg, lateral press. Again, Ospreay the quick escape. Both men up to a Whoa!
Wow.
Fancy footwork there by Ospreay, but even better evasion there by Buddy Matthews.
You're not going to want to blink in this one, guys.
And in some ways, there's a lot of strength versus strength here. The quickness, the speed, the fleet-footedness. Both men, I think, equal base there.
I'll tell you right now, these are two of the best athletes in the entire world. Doesn't matter the sport. You're looking at two of the best.
And you're not going to want to blink in this match. You're not going to want to blink for the next 2 hours live on Dynamite. We will hear from MJF later on tonight, plus a big grudge match spilling out of the Continental Classic. Mark Briscoe, Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, one-on-one tonight. Plus, we know the Rated R superstar, Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Cope, in the house tonight, live in Clarksville. Plus, for a #1 seed in the Women's Casino Gauntlet match 1 week from tonight, it is Toni Storm, Willow Nightingale, and Chris Statlander. And the Men's Casino Gauntlet match tonight, who will earn a shot at Jon Moxley in the AEW World Championship next Wednesday night at Dynamite. Maximum Carnage, we know that Jay White, Switchblade, has the #1 seed on the men's side, and plus Kenny Omega, the cleaner, the best bout machine, returns to Dynamite tonight as Buddy Matthews. The drop kick to the chest on Ospreay.
And now Buddy Matthews with Ospreay in his sights, Daddy Matt. Oh, Ospreay getting back into the ring.
And that's what you got to do here.
Now the step up, Tijeras takes Buddy Matthews down, spilling outside of the ring. His momentum carrying him all the way to the floor. And
you don't want to stay on the floor too long with either of these guys.
Ospreay has a chance here over the top. The plancha takes down Buddy Matthews on the floor.
And that little bit of that extra drive, Daddy Magic, almost like a frog splash plancha, getting that extra momentum to drive down across the chest of Buddy Matthews.
Beautifully executed. Will Ospreay now firmly in charge, it seems.
And you know, that added size that Ospreay put on that you alluded to earlier, coming into play there as he takes Buddy Matthews down, that body weight sending Matthews crashing to the floor. And you see Matthews a bit unsteady getting up to his feet, or perhaps not, as Ospreay elevates up and over, as does Matthews. The snap air kick to the spine from Matthews, who now accelerates to the ropes, the running kick, and Matthews not done yet, drops the knee.
And this is where the danger is.
The lateral press. Ospreay firing that left arm up off the mat. And
I've been in the ring with a guy, with Buddy Matthews, a handful of times. And the thing about him you don't realize is just how strong this guy is. Yes, he could fly around, and he's as agile as they come. But the strength is really what blew me away most of all.
And you know, you mentioned a chance to face Will Ospreay, one of the greats in this sport, one of the greatest of his generation. But it's also a chance for Buddy Matthews to put his name on the map in singles competition. Remember, the records reset at the beginning of the year. A victory over Will Ospreay is not just a victory over one of the greats in our sport. It's a victory over former AEW International Champion, Ian.
Absolutely, and it puts you in the front of the line to start the year. You're absolutely right. As Ospreay.
Oh, look out here.
Wow! Both men building up speed, building up momentum, and a huge crash in the center of the ring.
Now's where Will's going to start to feel it. He's going to start to feel those two matches from World's End.
Yeah, 10 days is not a long time to recover, especially after a night like Will Ospreay had in Orlando on December 28th.
Well, you talk about the heart. Gallant would be the word that I would use, even stepping into the ring with Okada in the final after, like you said, Daddy Magic, the blood pouring down the skull of Will Ospreay.
Oh, it was something else.
And just 10 days later now, up on his feet, trying to drive these rights through the skull of Matthews.
Hammer throw into the ropes, reversed by Buddy Matthews. No, Ospreay. So light on his feet, so fleet-footed. The kick to the head has Matthews staggered against the corner.
I rocked him big time. Will's feeling it now.
The Bandera sends Ospreay up and over the top, but intercepts the right once again.
And Will needs this here. He can't let Matthews build momentum.
Whoa! The springboard, the elbow. Matthews taken off his feet. Ospreay, the near leg is hooked now, and Matthews, explosive kick out.
I don't know what he's thinking with that cover right there. I don't know if it's lackadaisical.
Daddy Magic, it looks like Ospreay's been holding the ribs, maybe the upper chest, Excalibur, maybe having difficulty breathing. Maybe there's some rib damage that we're unaware of coming out of World's End.
Yeah, the medical report not widely distributed after World's End. Of course, that is the doctor-patient confidentiality between Ospreay and the training staff here. But
here,
now,
he's gonna look for that super kick right here.
The little taste of the peri-peri. No, the knee to the back of the head. Ooh. And Matthews. Oh, what a backbreaker as Ospreay retreats to the floor, but not necessarily out of the range of Buddy Matthews.
What I'm talking about with Buddy Matthews, that strength. You see him throw Will Ospreay right in the air. Look at it!
Matthews over the top.
Holy smokes!
In front of our announce desk here.
Got absolutely all of it.
You can feel it here.
If he can turn on the gas here in Clarksville, Matthews has a chance to win the opener here tonight.
Ospreay staggered inside the Meteora.
The stack.
Matthews, the chance to Ospreay breaking free.
Woo. And look at this. It is Matthews pouring it on. Buddy to the outside. The hang time. Delivering the Meteora there.
And Daddy Magic, something that's tough to appreciate on television through your screens is there's so little margin for error for Buddy Matthews when he's flying through the air like that.
A giant guy like that, you come down funny, you blow a knee, you blow your back, you don't know. But right here, take a look right here on the apron.
Yeah, Matthews was looking for that pump handle inside the ring earlier. Now ups the ante on the apron.
I think Matthews smells this is his opportunity right here. He's got Will right where he wants him.
Strong kick by Matthews, but perhaps even stronger kick by Ospreay. Matthews. Draws in the aerial assassin.
Right in the face. We're going back and forth.
Oh, he's calling for it here.
Ospreay
On the apron.
Os cutter. No. Matthews stands strong. No. Ospreay thrown face first into our announce desk.
Well, there goes my monitor, guys. Holy smokes.
Will Ospreay's skull just bounced off of our solid oak announce desk.
Felt like Will took maybe an unnecessary risk there. Got caught.
As here we take a look at Ospreay going, face first, chin, jaw going into the edge of the announce desk.
And maybe some teeth as well. There was something that hit the ground there. Now Matthews is barking.
Homage to Brody King. Brody, who just competed in Japan at Wrestle Dynasty. Couldn't be here tonight, but Buddy Matthews is, and Buddy Matthews with a strong advantage on Will Ospreay.
I thought maybe he was barking because he shares a name with countless dogs across the country.
And it's Matthews. Well, if he is, he's sending a message right now.
Ospreay waiting and connecting with the kick, and now off the barricade.
They're down, boys, right in front of us.
The Os Cutter connects. Referee Rick Knox giving the 10 count to both competitors on the outside. Knox is already up to 5. Ospreay on the ascent.
Ospreay's in.
This could be it right here.
Now, how rattled is Buddy Matthews after that thrust kick, after that Os Cutter on the floor?
I like that Will's not above taking a count-out win here.
We are up to 8. Knox is...
And Matthews escapes, breaks the plane of the ropes. Ospreay on the assault, the drop kick. And now, off the middle, Os Cutter.
That's going to be it.
The leg hook. 2.
What a showing here from Buddy.
Wow. And what a way to kick things off here on Dynamite. Here comes the elbow pad, Excalibur.
The elbow pad being taken off usually precedes the hidden blade. But no, Matthews ducks underneath, anticipates, rising knee strike. Wipes him out. 1, 2, no, Matthews.
Wow.
Ospreay not afraid to go pedal to the metal. Does he have that one last burst? Is he healthy enough?
That's the question here.
Because Matthews is hanging here.
The double underhook could be a storm breaker in the future of Buddy Matthews.
Is he out here?
Yeah, is the tank empty?
Ooh,
this is nasty here.
Those kicks to the forehead, to the bridge of the nose. Bringing Matthews up to his feet. Ospreay winds up, right-handed chop across the chest.
Will's got to be wondering here. What's it going to take? Look at that shot, unprotected.
The thing that Will has to be wondering is how is Buddy Matthews continuing to get to his feet?
This is a guy who knows this is his opportunity right here tonight.
Wow! Great kick, great reach by Matthews. Great accuracy as Matthews and Ospreay vaults off his chest. Step up Enziguri.
Incredible.
And off the middle comes the Oscar. No, Matthews intercepts.
Look out
Puts
here.
him up. Matthews has Ospreay. To the back of the head. And now Matthews. The stop.
He's done it. He
Ospreay
got it.
is down. And not out. Wow. Ospreay's head and neck bending at a grotesque angle, courtesy of that stop from Buddy Matthews.
I don't
Yet
know.
somehow Ospreay survived.
How's he doing it?
On instinct right now. Wait a minute. Stepping over and through.
Styles clash from Ospreay. 1, 2, no, again.
This is something. Are you kidding me?
And this is our opening bout, Daddy Magic.
These are two of the best.
Ospreay
AEW.
lining up Matthews in his sights. And Ospreay blade right down the middle. 2, 3.
Wow. There's the winner. The aerial assassin, Will Ospreay.
And let us never doubt Will Ospreay's conditioning, resolve, drive ever again, having what it takes and more to fend off a very game Buddy Matthews.
A very game Buddy Matthews, a world-class athlete in Buddy Matthews. Yet
gutsy
Will Ospreay,
performance.
that much better here tonight.
A gutsy performance by Will Ospreay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever you identify as, give it up for Buddy Murphy. Buddy Matthews. Listen. I've admired you from afar. I've wrestled your best mate, Brooksy. And I can tell you this for a fact, my friend. I've wrestled you and I've wrestled Brody King. And both of you guys don't need to be following no leader at all. You guys can definitely do it by yourself. Ooh. Today, you showed that you can go with one of the best around, and I can see tag gold in both your future, or if you really wanted it, singles gold if you work hard enough, buddy.
Is Will their manager now?
So hopefully, this is the last time we meet, and I will see you soon. And if you ever need a man in your corner, buddy, I'm your guy.
Wow. A big endorsement by Will Ospreay, but Buddy Matthews. I mean, we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Ian, primarily known as a tag team of trios wrestlers here at AEW. Maybe winning in losing here tonight. But fans, let's take you back to this past Sunday where the stars of All Elite Wrestling were shining bright above Tokyo, Japan.